Hey, what is going on? It's question, just like the word question, but without an I. So, real quick, just wanted to get on here and point out a couple things I know I had some questions about. And I'm going to use half of my whiteboard. I really don't have a whole lot of space on here, just 'cause I got some other notes that I wanted to keep up there. And of course, I got my kids' school picture. Good stuff. No, so let's go ahead and get started on um, what I what could be deemed as the beginning. One of the things that I was looking at was how can I implement the plan? And so I say what can be deemed as a beginning because when I say how can I implement what is the plan, the initial beginning, the real beginning was creating a plan, starting at zero, learning and building. Okay, you can see my trajectory as we move along here. But when I began to implement the plan, the whole goal was all right. If I am uh, doing A, then B should happen. And the question is, should I be also pivoting to, or not pivoting, but simultaneously or consecutively working on the next thing, D and E? And so what I did was I really kind of game planned how I wanted to push forward. So I knew that uh, PMP consulting was going to be the ground or the entryway. But then one of the things that I began to think on was, and shout out to, I think Carwana D. Irving was the first one that came to mind. Um, and then I believe Jason White was the second one that came to mind. But going through all these different uh, teachers, I ran into Eric Coffey, uh, government contract extraordinaire. But I began to realize that government contract was going to be a step that would take me to where I really wanted to go. So I decided to um, use my PNP as I used GovCon. So I used one leverage to the other. So same way, and I don't want to say same way, but similar in a similar fashion to Elon Musk using Tesla to fuel profits, and then also using that to focus on SpaceX. I don't know what the actual timeline was, but I know that he did do some of those things. And in fact, he did also use government contracting to take his ventures further on. So now, but along with that, though, one of the things that I realized was that PMP is project focused, meaning it's temporary. It's beginning to end. It's not forever. And so one of the things that I really considered was um, if I go from one project to the next, what is the next? I started thinking of the next, and what field, what department, what industry. These are things that I was thinking of, and just in my travels, I'm meeting people, working with people, doing things of that nature that would, I guess you could say, propel me. But honestly, it was just friendships, just people I got to know, and I began to think about the retail space, right? And that boils down to a lot of different things, but one of those being food and beverage, and the other one being clothing. And so I began to think on, okay, now if I'm going all the way back to here, these things need to fuel the next thing. But if I start jumping, I may mess up and not have enough. So this is what we call, well, actually, let me take that back. This is kind of the push pull effect. So one of the things that you pick up in management or leadership is you want to have your most experienced and your most industrious worker pulling. All right. But when I look at it in this sense, you want to, if this is going to be pulling, meaning, and by when I say pulling, I mean your daily money maker. Okay, because GovCon contracts, they can be consistent and they can be game changers. However, they can take a while. Right, you have to do a lot of different inputs to get the output that you're looking for. And in PMP consultation, you're outselling. And so with all those things, you're still outselling, but you're still a project manager through and through. And so I just thought about, okay, well, if I'm going to move one to do the other, and if this is making me my daily money, then what is the game changer that allows the step away? Now, this is the part where it gets a little ambiguous for me, just because we're going through the negotiations and things of that nature. But this is the game changer where I begin to look at it as okay, and it's always been here, right? It's that thought has always been there. It's just a matter of how to implement it. Just like with Elon Musk. Oh, I keep going back to this guy, but he's his whole goal has been to make, or at least what he said is to make the humanity interplanetary. Meaning that's the only way that we're going to continue living life forever and a day, or however he deems it. But for me, it's more so transforming the American entrepreneur, right? So then you look at, and this is in my experience, and so this is where I saw the game changer, because it's at this moment, right? Because you're not doing that, but at this moment when you have the entities necessary, that the wheel can go to where you want it to go. And so even in my very early business plan, not my initial one was kind of, it was like AI helped. It was kind of garbage. And I showed it to a consultant, and he was just kind of like, eh. So, but my initial one, or my one of the main first ones that I started working on, basically had this idea in mind as an exit. And so that's where we would look at it as okay, like these are the options. And so this is the to the moon, as they used to say, right? All right. Question, just like the word question. Thank you for kicking it with me for a couple minutes, 7 minutes to be, 8 minutes to be exact. And you guys have a great day. Enjoy your time. God bless.